If you're over 30 and you haven't created any content yet, but you really want to, and that's 30, 40, 50, younger as well, doesn't matter, I'm going to be talking to you today about why now is the perfect time and what you can do to get started. A little bit about me. I'm no different to you. I still work a 9 to 5. I've got 2 kids. I still find the time, and that's because I believe that if you're passionate about something, you will prioritize and find a way to make it work. And we're going to talk about that too. People always say it, but really, now is the best time to create content because it only gets harder and harder the longer you wait. The YouTube algorithm is really pushing new creators because there's so much content coming out every day. It has to assess every video individually. So now smaller channels are really getting pushed out. You have the same advantages as larger channels because YouTube is actually pushing to try to find new creators. Another reason why it's a great time to start right now is because everyone has got one of these. And one of these has got a microphone, it's got a camera. That's all you need to get started, literally. If you're not in your 20s anymore, then I can guarantee you've got life experience, and that's something that you can also share with your audience. Authenticity and trust on this platform are at an all-time low. The YouTube audience is really craving people who are authentic, who can share about themselves, talk about what they've learned in life, and how they can best help their audience. And that's where us older guys are really gonna shine. When I first started creating content, I was sharing about my experience in my digital agency. As I built that business up, I just ended up hating the digital agency space because as I got more clients, it felt like I just had more and more bosses that I had to please. And I never felt comfortable in that business because I always felt like a slave to these business owners, trying to cater to every whim and trying to keep them happy just so they continue to pay me. One of the things that I really enjoyed was creating content for my digital agency. Not the content for advertisers, but content for myself where I'd record my experience and share with the audience what I was going through. But the part that really left a mark on me was creating content on YouTube. I didn't get many views, but I still just really enjoyed the process of creating content, think about who would watch it, and then just trying to make little improvements to each video as I did it more and more. I really want to encourage you, and you can see it in my video, it's just fairly raw. It's just me talking to a camera. I'm not doing anything special. But just to say that you can do this too. You don't have to have everything set up immediately to start. I know I definitely get analysis paralysis. It's just about hitting that record button, creating something, and just not being too hard on yourself. One of the biggest hindrances I've found in creating is listening to that negative voice that tells you that your content's not good enough, that the quality is not good enough, that you don't know what you're talking about, that imposter syndrome, all these little things that build up that are actually going to stop you from hitting that record button and just making a video. So really what I'm saying is that when you have lower expectations of yourself, you're able to freely create and not have the stress of trying to impress yourself or others. Another thing I want to address, and I know this impacts you guys, it definitely did for me, is worrying about who's going to see your video when you post it. The thing about that, and you'll only discover it when you actually do post, is that no one actually sees it anyway. See, when you first start creating content, it's going to be rare that you make anything that's going to get over, say, 1,000 views. And because of that, you know that most people that you know aren't actually going to see it. And even if they do, does it really matter? We just get in our head and we stop ourselves because we're worried about what people think. But truth be told, you're probably not going to know these guys in the next 10 or 20 years. You'll move on, find a new set of friends, and it'll be like you never knew these guys. Think about how sad it would be to know that you stopped yourself because you were worried about someone that you knew 20 years ago that made your life a little difficult at that time, but then you no longer knew them and you never actually took the opportunity to hit record and start making videos. Another thing I want to address is what happens if I make a bad video. Well, it's just that. You made a bad video, and then what? You think the content police are going to come after you, or people are going to come to your house and tell you how bad your video was? No one actually really cares about your videos until they start going viral. Until that point, if people are commenting negatively on your videos, it just shows that they've got way too much time on their hands. They're obviously upset with themselves. They probably feel frustrated that they see someone like you creating content, but they can't do it themselves. You'll never see someone who's truly successful shit on a smaller creator because they know the pain that that person is going through. Plus, they just got way too much stuff to do. They're too busy winning to be able to focus on anything else. The last point I want to address is what happens if I can't come up with any ideas? That would have been a more valid excuse back before AI. Nowadays, you've got AI that can help you come up with 1,000 different ideas in a split second. There's actually no reason now to not have any ideas. Plus, you've got so much content now already made that all you have to do is look at what's working and try to replicate it in your own voice. I'll admit coming up with viral ideas is a different story, but for now, all you really need to focus on is just having ideas and then executing and then reiterating and getting better and better each time. Now, I've talked a lot about the problems that you can face when you're trying to create content. I now want to talk to you about how to actually create content. A great place to start is to look at your expectation and just lower it way down. We don't need any of that. We don't need the stress or the expectation limiting what we're going to create. From there, it's easier to start with short form content and then build your way up to the longer form. So do anything from 2 to 3 minute videos where you're just talking to the camera. You're getting used to the feeling of talking to an object, not getting anything back, but then starting to understand how that dynamic works and seeing your audience through that lens. You don't need to post a video, you're just creating for the sake of creating and building that muscle memory of actually getting comfortable in front of the camera, hitting record, and then doing it again and again, trying to make that little improvement every single time. And like I said, these things can do it all, so you don't actually need anything but your phone and some simple editing software to be able to publish it straight to YouTube. And just remember that this is all fun, this is all creative, this is how you can express yourself and find friends in this online space where we can connect with new people and find people who are like-minded like ourselves who really enjoy the art of creating. So I encourage you, if you haven't already, to take the first step and record your video straight after this. Don't worry about what it's going to look like, just hit record, start talking, share about your day, what happened, and start getting better at storytelling. Eventually post one of them online and see what happens. Like and subscribe. I've got a new video all about the new sales funnel that creators are using to make millions of dollars online. Check it out right here.